Good morning and welcome to Peace Out, where we are all learning together to peace out. What a process. It's more than just a trend. I was thinking about that this morning. I was thinking about trends this morning. You know, you see all these crazy trends on TikTok. You see the crazy trends on Facebook, just in the world. You know, our world is so changing so fast, we can't even keep up with it. Okay. Us older people can't keep up with it, but we're doing pretty doggone good if you ask me, right? So I've kept up with most of it, but sometimes I lag behind and I don't know the new vernacular and the new slang terms and all of that. But the world is changing and there's going to be different trends. And, you know, there wasn't any Tide Pod eating trends in my generation. We did some dumb stuff. We just didn't film everything and tell everybody about it, right? It didn't become a trend. We just became dumb, right? But you know, the trends have been different throughout all the years. And so that's what I was thinking about. I was just thinking about some of the crazy trends that are out there right now. The crazy stuff you can get sucked into without even meaning to, you know, by accident, not paying attention or something. There's all kinds of trends on the internet and even just in life, right? And so I was thinking about how they just changed so much. And then I was like, you know what? God has never been a trend. Right now, sometimes we do see a rise in an interest in Christianity. We see a rise in interest in learning about God. We see ebbs and flows of different parts of society that we know right now. There's 2 or 3 revivals going on some different places. And hey, I'm a revivalist at heart. I got the books. I've read it. I've at least casually studied pretty much every revival and revivalist that I know of. And every once in a while I learn of a new one. I just find it fascinating that when people just stop and focus on God, he meets them there. Over all these generations, over all these years, there's all these different revivals. And I'm not going to even get into this, but maybe we'll talk about them. Maybe I'll do a series on that or something. But there was just, and most of them just started with an earnest prayer, a need to know God, a hunger for God, to know him and his word. And sometimes it started with a group praying or one person praying or somebody giving that time. So maybe we could call that a trend, but God is more than a trend. So I was thinking about that. And then I thought of this verse in Psalm 90, verse 1. And it says, Lord, you have been, I'm saying it in King James. You have been our home in all these generations, our dwelling place. But the New Living says, Lord, through all the generations, you have been our home. God is not a trendy God. He doesn't say, oh, okay, for this generation, I'm going to be their home. For that generation, I'm not. Right? He doesn't go with the ebbs and flows of society. He's just that solid rock we can count on no matter what trend comes, no matter what trend goes, no matter what, we know that God is going to be there for us. So as I read this whole psalm. If you get a chance today, just go read Psalm 90. It's pretty interesting, especially when you realize who wrote it. Anybody know who wrote Psalm 90? It was Moses. The guy we talked about Monday that said, just send somebody else. I just really don't want to do this. Right? And now we have this kind of reflective prayer of Moses where he's looking back and first he says, Lord, through all the generations, you have been our home. You have been our home through all generations. Before the mountains were formed, before you made the earth and the world, you are God without beginning or end. Imagine Moses discovering that, so to speak, and just getting that revelation that God is just there. He's always been there, and he's there for us. Before he said, let there be light, he was there. Duh, right? And before he said, let there be light, he knew he was going to create most mountains. He knew he was going to create the oceans and the seas. And he had it all. He knew he was going to create this fascinating ecosystem that we want to replicate on the moon. Good luck, you guys. Good luck. I think it's possible, but not real probable. And we're ways away from it, definitely. But he created this ecosystem, and all we do is mirror what God has done. He's the genius behind it all. We can just mirror it. But he made us creationists. He made us to create. He gave us an imagination. This God who has been our home, our rock through all generations. He's not just a trend. He's really with us. He really did all the things in this book And we can run to him and we can trust him and go and remember, Moses goes through here all the things that they went through, some of the struggles they went through, like as bringing the children of Israel out. And then in the end of it, he goes, this, "Oh Lord, come back to us. How long will you wait? Have pity on us." He's asking God, please be involved in my day. What an invitation. That's all it takes, is for an invitation for us to say, God, can you be involved in my day? I don't have this day under control. This day's already gone crazy for me. I'll just tell you that. I'm already behind. Just barely been, not even up that long, right? And it's like, God, will you be in my day? And the coolest thing about God is he's always been in our day. We just have to stop and acknowledge it. We don't even have to invite, really. We really just have to say, I know you're here, God, and I'm so thankful that you're here. I'm thankful that you're walking through time with me. He goes on down, Moses does in the psalm, and he says, satisfy us early, or satisfy us in the morning with your unfailing love. Because that's another thing that's not trending. His love isn't trending. It doesn't ebb and flow. It's constant. We can count on it. Then we can sing for joy to the end of our lives. Give us gladness in proportion to our former misery. Now that's a verse, right? Because think of the things that they've been through, the children of Israel, that Moses was bringing them through, right? It's not that everything was perfect for Moses. As a matter of fact, like we talked about Monday, he finally, after arguing with God, like he knew more than God, guilty, right? He finally said, just send someone else. I don't want to do it. And yet he did it anyway. He trusted God. And look at this whole magnificent story we have of God moving on behalf of his people. And you know what? That's not a trend. God still moves on behalf of his people. We can still cry out to him. We can still hear him. If Moses could hear him at the very beginning of this book, at the very beginning-ish of creation, we can still hear him today. We can still trust him today. We can still know he's going to take us through the wildernesses of our life, and he's going to provide for us on this journey we call life. We can still trust him. Why? Because through all generations, he has been our dwelling place. He has been our home. Now, I want to flip that just for a second real quick. Not only has he been our dwelling place, but the coolest part about being on this side of the cross is that we are his dwelling place. Paul says it twice in 1 Corinthians 3 and 1 Corinthians 6. We are the temple of the Holy Spirit. That was the whole point of the cross, was God set it up so that he could be in us. He even said he would write his law in our minds and in our hearts, and he would turn our hearts into tablets of stone rather than tablets that could be written on, tablets of flesh rather than the tablets of stone, like Moses actually got to witness. Moses witnessed some powerful things, and yet here he is very humbly saying, you've always been there for us, God. We will trust you still. God does not change. He doesn't fluctuate with our circumstances. My circumstances can be, my emotions can be, I'm not bragging or anything, but I can go from way on the mountaintop to the bottom of the valley in like 0.3 seconds. I swear. So, crash, right? God's still there. He's there when we feel like we're on the mountaintop. He's there when we feel like we're on the valley, because the truth is, he is that even keel that we have in our lives. He is that constant. He's our constant hope. He doesn't turn it off. Oh, you're down there. Come and turn it off. Or I'll turn it up. Let me turn it up a little bit. No, he's just got that consistent, constant hope, love, peace, joy, all these things. He's not just the coolest trend. He just is. He's our dwelling place. He's our rock. He's our shelter. And nothing about him is going to change no matter what we see or do in this life right now. He is still our home. He's not just the latest fad or the latest trend. He's our God. And I'm going to trust him for today, and I'm going to peace out. Peace out, you guys. Have a great day. I'll see you again tomorrow.